I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 519. Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Well, hello, all my dear friends all over this beautiful world of ours. No matter what's going on in your neighborhood, don't ever forget all the wonderful, beautiful things that are happening in the midst of not so beautiful, wonderful things. They're all going on at the same time. So sometimes I think it's really good to put your awareness on the good, because it's there too, along with the bad, which has nothing to do with what I'm actually going to talk about today. But I always talk about perspective and perception and what you're thinking. So I think it's good to start out in that way, that where you point your mind has a lot to do with what you're actually going to see. And it brings me to the topic that I want to talk about today, because about 2 weeks ago, I put an episode out, episode number 516, on why it's more important to prioritize emotional health over physical health. And I think it's really interesting. I've done it before. I think it's a very interesting topic because so many women come to me, and the reason they say that they want to lose weight is so that they can be physically healthier. And I am not going to dispute that if you have too much weight on your body and you take it off, you probably will be healthier. But I'll tell you this, what comes first? Emotional health, good emotional health, or good physical health, which was the topic of number 516 that I just did. And from that, I sent out a newsletter, which I do every week. And I want to read it to you because I think it proposes some interesting things for you to think about. And when I sent it out, I asked for feedback from anybody that read the letter if they had any feedback for me. And I got some very interesting feedback that I think might help you too. So first, what I want to do is I just want to read you this letter that I wrote, which is going to sound just like I'm talking to you right now. But I think it will help your mind, wrap your mind about this whole idea of emotional health versus physical health. So the way I started this out is I said, I'm interested in your thoughts on something I consider very important. What's more important, your emotional health or your physical health? That's a complicated question for a lot of women. Most people who schedule time with me tell me that they want to work with me to lose weight so they can improve their physical health. But here's the thing that most women don't realize, that their weight is just a reflection of their emotional health. And when I say this, I mean most of the time, not all of the time. There is no way to lose weight without balancing your emotional health first. And let me repeat that, because what I mean is there's no way to intentionally want to lose weight without balancing your emotional health first, especially if you've been on this cycle for decades. Unfortunately, we've been led to believe that the reverse is true. So many women think that if they lose weight, they'll feel better, and then they will finally be able to take care of their emotional health. Actually, I think it's the exact opposite. This is what sets me apart from other coaches. I said weight loss coaches, but I really think of myself not so much as a weight loss coach, but more of a life coach that helps you manage your mind around anything. This just happens to be around food and what you think about your weight. I help women like you become emotionally healthy, which is true no matter what we're working with. Once that happens, you'll be able to learn how to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. It's paramount that you deal with the emotions that are leading to overeating. Get your emotional health in order and then deal with your physical health. I know as women, we were not taught to view our weight in this way. So take some time to digest this. It's a completely different way of looking at it. And if you want to learn more, please listen to the podcast, episode number 516, on why you should prioritize emotional health to lose weight. So that was the letter that I wrote and I sent it out. And if you listen to my podcast and you get my newsletters that I send out every week, then you probably got this. And if you got this, I'm wondering what you think or what your response would be. So what I want to do is I want to read a response that I did get from a listener. And I think it sums up so much about why your emotional health needs to come first in order to have good physical health. So this is what she wrote to me. Good morning, Dr. Deb. Always such a delight to see your messages in my inbox. And dear listener, I hope for you it's the same. So here's what she says. The question you pose, what comes first, physical or emotional health, is crucial. I know I feel better mentally, emotionally when my weight is down and I'm eating clean. But I absolutely did learn from you and your thinner peace process that I have to prioritize my mental emotional health or my eating behavior will be way out of whack. And I will say right here that this woman did do one of my group programs, the thinner peace process. So she is coming from not just listening to the podcast, but actually doing the process on how you get to thinner peace and my thinner peace process. So I just wanted to say that. So this is what she goes on to say. A crucial lesson for me was to learn how to comfort myself without food, and that being good to myself, self-compassion, does not mean indulging in chocolate or impulsive treats like ice cream, potato chips, and mac and cheese. Truly being good to myself means paying attention to my emotional needs and authentically addressing them. Self-compassion means recognizing and doing what is truly good for myself in the long term. It means imposing the self-discipline to not give in to food and eating and urges and valuing the much more, and I'm going to repeat this, and valuing the much more satisfying feeling of a healthy body. I think it's really important. I think her letter is crucial if you're trying to work on this same topic, because this is what she was working through in the group class that I did. And it's what I talk about in every single podcast that I do one way or another. But I think people still think that they have to have their physical health first. And it's not that I don't think your physical health is very, very important when it comes to losing weight, but I think weight loss isn't a physical health problem. It's an emotional health problem, and that you need to learn how to deal with these emotions and these mental thoughts that are going through your mind that are acting like true things are going on. That when you see a piece of cake or ice cream, like what this reader was talking about, the foods that have this enjoyment factor, you think, when really you're just using them to fill an emotional gap. As she said in her letter, when she could learn how to comfort herself without food, that is what I call strong emotional health, learning how to comfort yourself in a way that is actually helpful. And that is the thinner peace process that I talk about in all 519 episodes, and it's what I teach. I hope this helps you today to realize that no matter what you want in your life, and I'm not even talking just about physical health, no matter what you want in your life, being able to manage your own emotions and use food in the way that it was intended, which is for your good physical health, is the beginning of all things. So, I would never, ever leave this podcast without saying to you, as my reader put it in her letter, no matter where you go or what you do, please, please, please be very kind to yourself. And of course, this is called self-compassion. And I would love to see you next week. Bye-bye. If you're loving my podcast and you would like some more information to be able to follow along with, then please go to drdebbutler.com/change and you can get a free copy of my companion book that goes with this podcast that I refer to in many different episodes. That is drdebbutler.com/change. CHANGE.